So that's one area of advocacy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, another one that this one is a delicate one. Yesterday you were raising your hand.
Yeah, I think we're getting there because the problem of stigmatization in offices, I think is reducing today.
Right.
Because most of my clients that come to me that are working at a tested positive, I think they are still working.
Right.
Most of the companies refer them to me, and that is why there are times when Uncle Ibrahim does most of his public outreach programs. We normally invite MDs, CEOs of companies to let them know that even as far as the person is fit to work, you're fit to work.
It's fantastic. Well, you know, the only challenge with that is that it's left to the discretion of the person.
Exactly.
And I am a strong believer in process. A non-optimal leader, things will work. The structures are in place. So one of them is that it should be a crime.
Exactly.
It should be a crime to sack a person because they are HIV positive. One. The other one that I don't know, I mean, to talk about it sometimes is always a bit controversial. I understand the position of the religious leader, and as religious leaders, they must encourage the optimum behavior. So I understand that. And I have a lot of friends who are religious leaders, and we talk about these things, you know, and they say it, you know, that as a pastor, I cannot be seen saying this thing. But, you know, when there are crises, you know, the men of God and women of God must step forward and lead their people onto a new place. And that is why I think that even as we're encouraging that people must behave better, at least in the area of sex, you know, stick to one partner, you know, stick to your wife as much as possible, we must also allow, even if we are not going to say it, we must allow others to say it and say that people should be encouraged to act certain way. If they must have partners outside of their marriage or relationships, as many people do, then there should be protection. I think that every public space should have protection distributed free.
Everywhere. Exactly.
I know that is always controversial. People will say you're trying to encourage immorality. I don't
What
agree.
about couples? Will you tell couples to use condoms?
Those are, you know, there are many areas. This is where you have to I understand what you're saying, because there are situations where I've seen those situations. I have friends in healthcare, you know, where a woman can't say her husband should come and use condom now, and so on and so forth. Yes.
Where the woman says that the man's attitude is a threat to her life.
Yes.
I believe a woman has no reason to ask the partner or to seek authority from the male partner to save her life.
Yes.
Right.
So
which is
women
why
should be empowered to be able to negotiate safer sex.
And that's why I said our religious leaders are very important. They are in such a powerful position that God has put them there. So that if they, for example, see that kind of situation, they've got to be able to step in. Because a lot of women, for example, or even men will say it's not accepted. You cannot because of this say you are not in a marriage. But part of a marriage is to be able to have those sexual relations. But if somebody's behavior is threatening your life, the way I see it is that somebody is bringing a knife to your neck, you know, and actually there's a space to roll away, and you say, I must wait and let this knife cut my neck. There's a beautiful commercial that I saw once. Young people, they saw them, they were going to jump into an ocean to swim, you know, and there was a lot of shark in the water. Then what they did was that they now brought this cage from the top, so you could get into the cave and actually get across the water. And some people were choosing to jump into the water. They pray and they jump, and you know, it doesn't make sense. You can get into that cage and get through the water.
They wanted to try Jonah.
They wanted to, you know. So it's a very. I think it's time to begin to speak the truth about certain things without making it seem as if we're encouraging non-optimal behavior, because so much is happening.
Just a little to add. My brother spoke earlier when he talked about, I like to let people understand, when we talk about treatment, government has made antiretroviral free, but comprehensive treatment as regards HIV is still not free holistically yet.
Right.
Because like, if I have malaria, it's called opportunistic infection. Fully, if you have malaria, it's called malaria.
Yes.
We take the same drugs and the rest.
Yeah.
And this is the same person who you have refused to let him get employment because of his HIV status, and you say, okay, you get Conviva, or you get Nevirapine and the others for free, then he now goes to queue somewhere to buy malaria. And you know one funny thing? HIV does not kill anytime, any day. But it opens the door for 1,001 things that can kill you. Those are the opportunistic infections. So government needs to put structures in place to make sure treatment is comprehensive. That is for all the opportunistic infections.